Hey y'all, I'm Kara Schultnick, your Waccamaw Riverkeeper with Winyah Rivers Alliance. We are so excited that you are going to join us and millions of others across the world celebrating World Water Monitoring Day with our Bacteria Blitz. On September 18th, we are trying to collect 20 samples for our Bacteria Blitz throughout the Waccamaw River watershed. Those samples will be analyzed and then we'll give you back the results, letting you know how clean the water is in our Waccamaw River watershed. This year is Winyah River Alliance's 20th anniversary, so we want to collect 20 samples to celebrate our birthday on World Water Monitoring Day. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the sampling procedure for our Bacteria Blitz and what you can do to help us out. So let's get started. Before you even leave home, you should make sure that you have everything on your checklist. That includes your data sheet, a cooler that has ice in it. That ice is really important. Make sure that's in there. You'll also have your resealable baggie, which includes gloves, your sampling bottle, still sealed, a pen to write on your data sheet with, and a permanent marker to write on your bottle. Make sure you have all of those things in your kit before you even leave home. Probably the most important piece of equipment in your sampling kit is your sample bottle. You will have a sterile sample bottle. You can see that it still has a seal on it. This shrink wrap seal is on there, and that means it's still sterile. You should not remove this until you are ready to sample and you've already put on your gloves. You'll also notice that there's some white substance in here. That's okay, it's supposed to be there. That is sodium thiosulfate, and it is a preservative. So this is what your bottle should look like. If your seal has been tampered with or if it's gone, that means it's no longer sterile and you need a new bottle. Now I'm ready to take my sample. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bottle, which is still sealed, and my permanent marker. And on my bottle, very clearly, I'm going to write my site name, the date, and the time. Now remember, you should be taking your sample between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Now that I've got this on here, I'm ready to sample. But before I tamper with my bottle, I'll lay my marker down. I'm gonna put on my gloves. Remember, before I do anything with my bottle, I'm gonna put on my gloves. Because we're sampling bacteria, we don't want any bacteria that's on our hands that could contaminate our sample. That's the same reason I'm trying not to get in the water, because I don't want to contaminate the water. Now that I have my gloves on, I'm going to remove the shrink wrap. All right, so all you have to do is pull that little red tab and then remove that. Make sure that you hold on to the shrink wrap so that you can throw it away. Please don't put it in the water. So now I'm ready to take my sample. I'm gonna uncap my bottle and I'm gonna submerge it under the water. So now I have my sample. I'm gonna dump a little bit out. I wanna fill to the shoulder and make sure that I'm above that black line. We wanna keep a little bit of air in there so that when I take it to the lab to process, I can homogenize and mix it. And now I have my sample. And the next step is to take that sample, put it in the bag, ziplock the bag, okay? And then I'm gonna put it in my cooler with the ice, under the ice, and only now do I take off my gloves. An important part of your data sheet is your site observations. Once you've collected your sample, take a few moments to observe your sampling site and record your observations below. We want you to mark your air temperature. Doesn't have to be perfect, just one of these categories. Sun, is it bright and sunny? Are there some clouds? Make sure you mark that. Date of last rain. If you know it, put it in here. If you know the amount, put it in there. If you don't, all you have to do is write don't know or NA or something there to let us know you don't know. Water flow is another important one. Down gradient means that the water is flowing downstream. Up gradient means it's coming in, like if you have a tide. And slack tide means it's just not moving, it's not going anywhere. Water odor is another important one. There might not be any smell, or it might smell natural. Whatever it smells, mark it. And then water surface. This one's also really important. It could be clear, oily, algae. There could be some foam. You might see something else. If you have a lot of leaves or something like that, you can mark other. If you mark any of these other ones, please make a note down here and let us know what that was. And also if you observe anything else at your site, if there are animals nearby or if there's a lot of trash, just mark it there and let us know what you're seeing at the site.